Hey everybody, so we're here at Xozio Coffee and Provisions, and I thought I would do a walkthrough video on the roaster. I'm getting ready to do my first, or I've done a roast along video. It's a little bit rough, I'm editing it, and I'm gonna try and do another one really quickly, but I figured we should do a machine walkthrough video first, or at least have one out there so that we can understand what I'm talking about and you guys can understand the piece of equipment that I'm roasting on. Okay, let's get right into it. I'm just gonna switch the camera around and we'll start on this video. All right, well there is the machine. This is a Diedrich IR-12. I've nicknamed it, or its in-house name is the baby Kraken. It's really exciting. This has been something that I've been looking forward to quite a long time. Yeah, so this is a machine that we received it, I want to say around 8 months ago. So it's pretty new to us. All right, well, let's just kind of zoom in on it and we'll get a little closer and just kind of do a little bit of a walkthrough. All right, well, this is my basic setup. You can see, I kind of have a basic setup for all the roasting that I do. Little table, it's my notebook that I write in. Ideal profiles over there. I always like to have a kitchen towel. It's an old kitchen habit. Lighter for airflow, of course coffee, and then of course water too. It's super important when you're roasting. It tends to get hot and dehydrated. Diedrich was also nice enough to include a timer in the cooling tray when they sent me the roaster, and I'm still using it. And that's actually the timer for the video because we only have 15 minutes for YouTube right now. So we're gonna try and get this knocked out quick. I'm also using Artisan currently with my roaster. So I have a 4 thermocouple package with this roaster basically. And I'm gonna be using Artisan to do all my data logging. And so we can kind of see here, I'm just gonna run through the thermocouples quick. So we got the BT thermocouple right there. And then we have, looks like right there, we'll see it. That will be basically that would be the ambient temp or environmental temp thermometer. And then, yeah, we got to go back here. And then back here, we have a inlet temp thermometer. And then all the way over here, which is a little bit further away, down in here, that's our exhaust temp thermometer, or thermocouple, I should say. So 4 thermocouple package, all running into Artisan and our Apple computer, and that's how we're gonna do our data logging. Okay, and then back here, we have our basic, I always have a hard roast profiling page just to help. My sister visited the Porsche Museum and got me a really cool espresso cup. So I'm using that to hold on my coffee tags. You never know when you have to blow your nose or wipe your face, so it's nice to have some tissue and some vitamin C. You never know when you might need some vitamin C. There's the roasting team too, pretty standard roasting team. All the old members and some new members from Nashville. Yeah, you can see there's Deadpool Baby, that's in Great White's mouth. That was from our king cake at Barista Parlor. Mark got it and gave it to the roastery, and so I painted it back up to be Deadpool Baby and put it in Great White's mouth. That was kind of fun. You can also see Pancho Villa down there. He's hanging out. I had to adjust him a little bit though. I had to give him some guns. Yeah, weirdly I got a Lego Deadpool at the same time, and Lego Deadpool came with a bunch of guns. Pancho Villa Lego came with no guns, and so I had to give Pancho Villa Deadpool's guns. I just wanted him to be properly outfitted. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll move our computer out of the way a little bit just so we can see the control panel. All right, so this is the control panel. We'll start on the left. That's our USB, our fancy USB connection. The Diedrich included a cord. Then we, of course, we have our e-stop, reset, and our emergency stop in case we need that. So far it hasn't needed it. Hopefully we never will. We have a light that basically is a warning light for airflow impediment. And so if there's ever airflow impediment, then that'll go off and warn us. And then there's our high limit reset button. You can also see that it's 66.8 degrees here in the roastery, and the high set limit is 475. And we've never hit that, and hopefully we never will need to, but I'm sure we will someday, and we'll just deal with it then. Then we have our drum switch, our blower switch, our gas switch, and then our agitator. So basically when you fire up the roaster, first thing you do is turn on the drum, then you turn on the blower. Basically, then you get your airflow set to low, then you go down here and you make sure the burner flip switch is actually turned to pilot only. So we get the pilot only switch down. And then at that point, we hit the gas switch up there, and then that starts the whole pilot lighting, gas flowing. Once the pilot is lit, then we can use the gas dial to adjust our gas basically input. And then up here, it'll register on our little gauge in inches of water column. And so that's basically the way we're gonna manage our gas. We also have the agitator button, which is basically the stir arms for the cooling tray. So yeah, pretty simple stuff there. Like I said, when I'm roasting, you guys will see me in action and I'll talk it through a little bit. Down here, we need to do a little more discussion. This is our airflow system. So these IRs, I got the manual IR. I could have gotten a automated one that would have came with a similar dial like you have with gas for airflow, but it also was semi-automated. I did not want any kind of automation, any kind of semi-automation. I wanted a classic old school manual roaster. And so once I started looking at all my options, it basically kind of limited me a little bit. And this style airflow system was the one that I just kind of felt most comfortable with. Some roasters feel like this is a limiting factor, which, you know, I guess I would have to agree. But then the other side of it is that unlimited controllability, like the gas, would also create some variance, you know what I mean? And so, you know, it's like all things, you lose a little, you gain a little. So with this, I gain a lot of control and I don't have any variance from my settings, but then I also lose some of the minutia settings between these three settings. So yeah, but basically we have our through the cooling bin, which is like roughly 80% of the air through the cooling bin, 20% through the drum. Then we have 50-50, 50% air through the drum, 50% through the cooling bin, medium air, I guess. And then you would go through the roasting drum, 80% through the drum, 20 through the bin. That would be your high airflow. So it's kind of neat how they've set it up to be low, medium, high, which is very much the way you use roast air in like the classical roasting style on a drum roaster, which is what I've been trained in the way I roast. So this works really well for me. I actually kind of prefer it in a weird way because in a strange, I should say in a strange past life, or not past life, I should say in a past roasting time, I took one of the really great classes at Mene Elves school in Waterbury, Vermont. It was the roasting class. And at that class, I did my best, what I would consider my best roast profile I've ever done in my life. It was for a washed Ethiopia that he had in-house. And I did it on a 3K Diedrich that he had in the roasting space, and it had the same airflow system. And it was an ultra complicated profile. I think I had 30 adjustments in it. Keith Tomlinson, my head roaster, took the class with me, and so he was like my roasting assistant partner, so he tracked the whole roast on a piece of paper. I still have that roast somewhere framed, I want to say. It's what I consider my best roast, and I did it on an airflow system much like this. So I'm really comfortable with this type of airflow system, but then again, like you all will be the judges when you buy and taste my coffee. So yeah, cool. All right, let's move on. All right, so back to the roaster. So we're at the front again. We're about halfway through, so I should probably speed up a little bit. There we have our Palo brush for cleaning the cooling tray, and then a little sweeper brush just in case we need to sweep stuff out of the roaster. Okay, now we're on the front. The front of the machine is pretty sweet and sexy. We got lots of cool stuff here. You can see the color I chose. It's called verdigris texture. I'm gonna try and zoom in on it so you can see it. Ooh, there's a good one. Oh, the color got weird. But yeah, it's got a cool, neat texture to it. It's really neat, and it doesn't really look dirty. That's kind of, well, you can see my fingerprints, I guess, now, but that's weird. But yeah, it doesn't really even look dirty, too. So for a roaster, it's pretty sexy. Looks always clean all the time. But then Diedrich went the extra mile, though. And I mean, look at that. The brackets on the cooling, or on the drum door, those are all verdigris texture and shiny bolts. Dude, the pillow block bearing, they put that, they verdigris textured that. Oh man, and then all that sexy voltage. That's really cool. And they put some high gloss polish on some of my stainless. Like, woo, you can see yourself in that. Yeah, you can. I wonder if I can. No, I can't lean myself in there, but. And then even here, you look at that. Look at that bright shine right there on that high polish on the top of the cooling tray arm. Oh man, now that is sexy time. And then one last thing on the front, well, there's a lot on the front, is the beautiful dryer that they sent with the machine. Oh my gosh, it's like so smooth. It's like maybe rosewood or something. It just feels nice to touch, and it's just soft and lovely. Plus this kind of cool little cage basically kind of really succincts the front, you know, covers up the black and it just adds a little bit of like bling and flair. I like it. I think it's a pretty solid little rig. All right, so yeah, classic cooling tray, I want to say. A couple stir arms, does really well. It's a little oversized. It's kind of what you like. That way the bean pile is really shallow and the coffee cooling is really quick. I'd say I'm getting around 2 to 4 minute cooling time. Really solid. Really simple manual in-out gate, you know, nothing complicated there. Nothing that can go wrong. You can get your coffee out really quickly. So that's super solid. We use a little cart down here to hold our coffee bins so they're off the floor, nice and safe and sanitary, but also just convenient. And then we have our little manual down there too in case we need that for some weird reason. Oh, I'm getting crazy with the gimbal. All right, so now we're back over here. Oh, actually, I want to go over here and show you guys the burner side. Got some really nice, fancy, shiny clasps too. All right, there's the burner compartment. Not super like exciting, but classic. We also have verticrease texture in there though. Oh yeah, it's really clean and nice. Really great machining here. You see no chaff, no beans. We have really tight tolerances all the way around on this machine. All right, so now we're over on the other side, the kind of quiet side, the side that we're not on very often. We'll go to the burner compartment again just to keep up that continuity. All right, so there's our burner compartment. We have it open up all the way. Like I said, it's got some crazy tight tolerances, so I don't really I've never had any bean drop. I've never had any drum rub. I've never had any issues at all. This thing is just run like a top, I guess is a good way to say it. To kind of close those with some little weight to get those clasps to lock, so it's kind of cool. Now we're down here. We'll go into the cooling tray area, I think. All right, so there's the cooling tray area. Right below the cooling tray, you can kind of maybe see up to the, oh yeah, there we can see the underside. All right, pretty simple. And then down below that, we have this kind of louver system that kind of controls the airflow and moves the chaff down there. Your chaff builds up a lot right here, and then also on our chaff can. So we clean up the roaster every time we roast. It's always just a smart thing. We probably should have some heavy brushing on it too pretty soon here. So that's the front, basically, of the cooling tray. And then down here, we have the continuation of the airflow system. So then we have more here, and then you can kind of see the little louver back there. That's the louver that you adjust when you're moving the airflow from 80-20 to 50-50 back to 80-20. All right, and then we have that thermocouple right there. Close that up. That looks pretty solid. All right, now we're kind of towards the back. Oh yeah, one of the things I did do though, is I did get the like upgraded IR-12 manual with the cyclone and chaff can. So this is a complete addition to the roaster. You don't have to get this. I like having a chaff can. It also kind of saved me some money on ducting because I got this extra run of ducting from Diedrich to run to the cyclone, and then your duct run is already like, we'll say like, I don't know, 5 feet off the ground, so you don't need as much duct. So I saved some money on duct, although the chaff can cyclone kit was probably more money than ducting, but nonetheless, I like it. I also have, the cyclone, I have a chaff can, so that does also help with fire suppression / fire control. So that's really helpful and nice. And it also means that the roast air fan is on top of the cyclone. And so you get a little more powerful airflow and a little bit healthier airflow system, just moving the air around and such. So, yep, really good. Here's our duct system, pretty straight line, running straight out the roof. So, like I said, the cyclone helped me where I could really do a really simple duct run. And that's really helpful too to overall airflow health, fire safety, and just quality roasting. All right, now we're walking around back. We're getting closer to time. I'm just gonna show you guys the back. That's also some doors on your cyclone so you can clean your cyclone. Cute little baby barrel that's attached to the chaff can. And then this is the back of the roaster. So back of the roaster, once again, we have another thermocouple. And this is kind of interesting. Look at that. There's no chain. We got a cool direct drive motor. So one thing I'm gonna say is that that's very quiet. It's nice and quiet. So yeah, that's kind of a nice bonus there. And then we have kind of the back of the machine. So like, you have some inlets right there, some junction boxes, some electrical. There's our gas line inlet, the gas line, no talk. That's one thing we're not gonna really go over. This is a gas line. I need to get that changed and maybe get a little more high quality gas line installed. Yeah, that's something we can talk about in another video. There's an electrical box basically, and then we're kind of just looking at the other side of the cyclone. And then there's another electrical junction box there for the cyclone. And then a couple of our favorite geniuses that have moved on to the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. Okay, and now we're getting really close on time, so I'm just gonna come back around to this side, kind of do a little sweeping thing, and then probably just turn around and say goodbye to you all. All right, cool. Well, I really appreciate you all taking the time to watch the video. Next, I'm gonna do a roast along, and I apologize that I haven't done one already. I just wanted to get the ducks in a row, and I've just been doing a lot of stuff getting ready to open up Xozio. It's been a fast couple weeks. All right, well, have a good day, everyone. Cheers, you all. See you later. Goodbye.